Hello guys, I'm Waldo Solano, Jacqueline Solano here. This is your warm-up, 3 bass steps first. That's 1. That's 2. Last one. Front cross, 3 times. Last one. 1 bass step. Cross on the back. Last one. Basic. Box step. 3 times 2. Last one. Basic. Box with up and 3. Last one. Basic. Box with touch on the 4. Finish with a basic. Basic one more time. And we're done. Hello guys, today's class, so we start first in this way. Okay guys, we count 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I love this game. All right, guys. So today we want to work in turns. All right. So we can say this is the first time we want to do a turn pattern. So meaning we want to add turns in the partner work. All right. So this is what we want to do. All right. You see in the after the warm up, we show you is use right and left turn. All right. So you never do turns in bachata. This is what we want to do. Let's say we can start with the left turn first. All right. One of the important things about turns, all right, is that you're doing steps, all right, every single time. So that means you're gonna switch one way for one foot to the other one, all right. It's very important to make it easier for you to turn, to look where are you turning, all right. Now, one of the biggest problems for people when the train turns for the first time is balance, right? It's many different details in your body, they're gonna help you to achieve that goal. But the base or the grounds of the turn is the more important part to start, right? So don't start from the head to the bottom, start from the bottom to the head, right? So the position how you do your turns is the key, right? To have a successful turns, right? That way you're gonna have a good balance, right? You can have many different things. You can get spotting, you can have the posture that you have to have, arms in a good position, core. But if you have all that, if you don't work in your feet, you're gonna fail, right? One of the easiest to understand the good balance is just put yourself, bend your knee, because this is not a ballet class, right? Put your knees a little bit bent, right? And moving my heel up, right? Notice that my height do not change at all, right? How long I can keep up myself in my toes, right? It's gonna dictate how long I'm gonna last in my balance as I turn it. Right? So we have several trainings, right? In the beginning of these courses where you're gonna be able to learn this exercise. So if you don't come across with those three, please come back to the first training, right? So you can do it, right? So a quick explanation, right? Something what you can do is try to keep as long as possible in your toes without moving yourself up, right? So that way you don't look like Bachata slide ballet thing, right? So when I turn, the first thing I'm gonna do is this, right? So after you do your exercise, right? I'm gonna go here. I forget something. Once you work in your feet, right? In the position your knees, right? Spotting part is important. So these are really quick exercises that I made to do in any style of dance that we teach, right? It's like, imagine this a race between your body and your head, right? So in that race, always your body starts going first, right? So, but my head's gonna come out in last one, but my head is the first one to finish the race, and then my body's gonna follow. You see? Right? So that's gonna help you to focus in one point. You decide it's your partner. If you do it by yourself, you can find a mirror in your bathroom or wherever is safe, right? The thing is that you gotta work to be easy with your neck, because most of the people, we don't move that much this, so you move it too quick, you can hurt yourself. So be nice and easy with your neck. So you do this, and slowly, first, you're gonna go do this, right? Right? To train your neck, it create that movement of the head. It's gonna help you to don't lose balance. You get dizzy when you turn. Do the same thing for both sides. Right? So here you're gonna focus on one point. Always your head's gonna get first. Right? So when you turn, you're gonna use that. For example, right now I'm gonna use this wall. But first, make sure you do this. You're pointing and you look where you're gonna go in. Right? So I'm gonna be here, even I'm gonna focus and point forward, you decide here. Some people can spot it to the side. Try to see which one works for you. Things work different for different people. Of course, if you dance with your partner here, you can spot it to her. For now, I'm gonna use this wall. Even my body is turning this way. Right? I'm gonna do half turn. Right? I still looking that way. Right? Now from here, I'm gonna look over my shoulder to back to the point. When I do that, I'm gonna pivot. Right now my waist is in both feet. I'm gonna pivot my heels, right? Then it's gonna be easier and natural to step back with your left foot, right? And then you're gonna be able to do a full turn, right? What you're looking for is to travel, right? Be aware that your basic step of your partner, when you do with your partner, she's gonna go in this way. So she ain't gonna end up in the basic step in this position, and she start from here. So you start your turn here. So you have to end there where your partner is gonna be in the end of the 4 counts. So I'm gonna do this, 1, right? I'm gonna hit in 2, right? I'm gonna turn in, twist my heels, right? You step back with my left foot, and then I'm gonna be able to face my partner here, and then you're gonna tap or move the hips based on what you decide, just like you do in your basic step, right? So let's try again, 1, 2, 3, and tapping 4, right? So that way you just practice it, go slow, right? Turns can be difficult, you never turned before, right? Make sure that to not do this. This is the first mistake people does, right? They stay in one place, they don't quite switch the way, they don't understand why you're not finishing there, right? So you're looking for to travel all the way here. All right? Of course, the main goal is to do small steps, but in the beginning, I find that sometimes do bigger steps, you make it to your brain to understand, okay, I had to step here, then I had to step here, so it's an easy way to understand, okay, I have to go that way. Once you do that, you don't understand what you're doing, transfer your weight to your left, transfer your weight to your right, and your left, then you can control the space of your step. Either can do smaller, smaller, so that way you can make it easier, right? And then you can do small steps as you're turning, right? All I do is trying to maintain my weight in my toes, so that way I can slide a little bit, right? Of course, this type of shoes help me a lot, especially I dance in a wood floor, right? You dance in the street with sneakers, can be a little difficult, so be careful with your ankles, right? So you make sure your foot is pointing for the direction. So you're gonna turn to my left, my foot is pointing to my left. But when I do this, notice what's gonna happen with this feet. It's gonna pivot, all right? So now my 2 feet are here. I'm not gonna keep it here, all right? I'm gonna twist a little bit with my heels so I can step back with my left foot. It's gonna accomplish, or help me to accomplish my turn.
Hey ladies, or follows, I should say. Welcome, I'm Jacqueline Solano. I am so excited to be here. Today is all about turns, all right? So you finally upped your game, you've gone through some of the beginner courses, and you're ready to really delve into some turns now. All right, there are 3 tips I wanna give you right at the beginning, kind of follow up with what Waldo was explaining earlier. All right, one of the most important things is understanding the concept that when you start turning, you are traveling from one side of the floor to the other. And I want you to think about what Waldo said and take big steps. So that's your first big idea, is like, I've got to go over there in one direction, or I've got to go over there in one direction. All right, tip number 2 is the position of your feet. Okay, so I know I have to be going this way or going that way in my turn, but how am I going to do my feet? All right, for example, we are follows at this point. So we're going to start always going with our right foot on one. All right, and in this case, that would be toward our right. All right, so just like Waldo said, what I want you guys to think about with your feet, remember we start from the ground up, is that we're going to overturn that right foot. All right, a couple of things I want to add to this concept of feet. You're going to bend your knees, okay, like was previously mentioned. When you go here to this half turn, a couple of things I want you to remember is that you're going to still maintain a slight V shape with your feet. If you're looking down here, it's not going to be like full ballet, like way open, but just a little bit with your knees bent. Remember, this is all about balance. So after you practice doing those big steps traveling, like Waldo just showed you, the next part is really delving into like, where exactly are my feet stepping? And eventually you do want your heels almost touching when you turn. All right, so think about on that step 1, just like Waldo said, wherever you're going, your foot is overturning, bringing those heels together, all right, making sure to switch weight. Then you're gonna keep going in that other direction, so picking up the right foot here and stepping, and then doing your tap or hip on 4, okay? So that's the second tip I wanna give you. So remember, tip 1 is that we're traveling. Tip 2 is what are my feet doing, right? Tip 3 is, of course, the spotting, all right? So, you know, just a couple of drills like Waldo said. What I like to do, and I'm gonna be honest with you, like at home, I make a big X and like put it right on my wall, right where my eye line is. When you're with a partner, okay, 9 times out of 10, we're a little bit shorter than our leads, not always, okay? But most of the time, you might be a little bit shorter. So what I always like to do, this is just for general, okay? I like to spot wherever my eyes land, and most of the time it's around his upper chest area, okay? I'm about 5'4½". So that might be a little different for you. So remember, when you're turning with a partner, you are gonna be spotting around his chest area, all right? What I want us to practice here when we're going to the right is spotting toward the front. We're gonna pretend our partner is in front of us, okay? Now, it's true, you can spot over here if you're going in this direction by yourself, but 9 times out of 10, we're gonna be dancing with a partner. So let's practice with our spotting. All right, so remembering we're traveling, we're remembering our footwork, heels together, knees bent, okay? And we're remembering to spot. So let's do this with a couple of counts, really slow. 5, 6, 7, right turn. 1, overturn. 2, we're still looking back at our partner. We're way to switch to the left foot. 3, we're gonna switch again to that right foot. We're still flipping our hair, or flipping our head back around on 3, and still give me that hip on 4. Let's do that one more time. 5, 6, right turn, here we go. And 1, 2, whip, 3, hip, 4. Last time. 5, 6, 7, here we go. And 1, 2, 3, 4. So a good way I like to think about that spotting is that your head starts, right? It's the last to start. It's actually the last to bring around. But then when you get back here, it's the first before your body finishes. Okay, so last to start and first to finish is kind of the way you want to think about that spotting. Okay, last time a little bit faster. 5, 6, right turn, go. And 1, 2, 3, and 4.
All right, guys, now we're gonna go with the right turn, right? So you notice I start the left turn in the count number 1. So the right turn, I'm gonna start in the count number 5. So it's exactly the same thing, just backwards, right? So for example, I wanna turn to my right, I will do half full bases the first. We'll go 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? So in 5, I'm gonna apply the same technique to turn. So I'm gonna do this in 5. Now we're pointing in this direction, right? I'm gonna do the same thing I would do, spotting, everything, right? But don't forget, your feet is the key, right? To have a good turn to start, right? Now, I'm gonna do my half turn to my right. I'm still looking my spotting part that I decide to choose. I'm gonna come back there here. Notice that because my body is turning, right? You see, it may twist my heels right away by me trying to look this way, right? So that way you don't have to think about it. Don't overthink it so much, this, right? You're looking for the turn. Make sure you waist and you left right here. Move your right foot back. And now, notice how this moving of my leg is gonna push this foot to pivot, right? It's gonna help you with the turn, right? So let's try again. So this is gonna be 5. I'm gonna half turn to my right. 6, right? And 6, I'm gonna move my head. It's gonna help me to do the pivot in my feet. I step back so I can look this way. And then I tap or use the hips, whatever you wanna do. So we do half base step. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Right? I'm gonna go with another drill to the arms. It can help you with the turns all the time. So something you can do is to do this. Right? It trains your upper body to help you just to do half turn. Right? You can do it for both sides. Right? Then when you help with the arms, right, and with the legs, or everything combined, this is gonna be easier for you to turn. So there's many things that you can use your own body to wanna help you with the turns, right? So when I go here, something I do sometimes, right, is twist, prep to the opposite direction. Same thing we would to the left, right? When I tapping, I will twist my upper body to my right to prep, so I can do a strong turn to my left, taking advantage of my upper body, right? And that's gonna help me to turn. When I tap in here in 4, I will do the same thing. I will press to my left. That will help me to go strong to the right turn. All right? All right. So that's another technique that this is gonna help you to achieve the turn. All right? So just practice everything separate, and then you can put everything together. But don't try for the beginning. Right? Always work by layers. Right? So you work on your feet, your knees, your hips, your chest, your arms, your neck, right? Okay.
Hey ladies, okay, a couple more tips to throw at you and then we'll get to our left turn. The first thing I wanna say, and I probably should have said this earlier, before you really start working on turns, if you're at your house and you're just practicing, I wanna give you a couple of stretches that you can do. You wanna make sure before you're practicing any stretching, any turning, you wanna be stretching out and getting the neck loose. All right, so we do have a warm up and we do some stretching in there if you did that before this class, okay, which we highly recommend. You do our warm up before every class. All right, but just to reiterate, you wanna make sure to get some deep stretching in side to side. Oh, there went a pop. You can even take this hand and make it straight, make that one into an L, press down on the head here and get a really good stretch. You'll feel it all the way down the opposite part of the neck. And then you can switch. Oh, that feels so good. All right, and just making sure to really roll it around because when you're turning, it's really important for that whip part to happen, right? Like when you're turning, to making sure when you're spotting, your head is whipping around. Like if I'm turning here and I'm spotting you, whipping that head, and whipping that head. And you know, a lot of our beginners, when they leave the class, are like, oh, my neck hurts, right? If they didn't properly do the stretching or they came in and missed the warm up in the beginning that we do. So I highly encourage you, make sure when you're doing your neck stretching, you're doing them slow, not fast, and that you're going side to side and down into the sides. I don't encourage you to whip your head around in a big fat circle, okay, really fast. So you don't really want to do that. You just want to do gentle stretching, okay? The other thing I want to comment on is, yes, I always talk about arms last. So I want to go ahead and give you that tip as well. You can prep, okay? It's the very last kind of thing to think about with all of these things, all right? But we're going to do our half basic again if we're going to go to the left. So 1, 2, 3. You can tap and do a hip while you prep. All right, and prepping simply means, like we said before, you're gonna turn your upper body a little bit to the right just to give you a little bit of momentum. So it really happens on the count before. So if I was going here and starting a half basic, I would go 1, 2, 3, 4. I would prep on 4 so that I could start on 5. Let's do that again, just that first part. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, and prep. And then I would overturn as we did before. Okay, keep spotting on 5, 6, heels together, knees bent, still spotting. Whip that head, 7, hip 8, okay? And if I was going back to back, it would be the same thing. I would prep over here on 8 so that I could do 1, 2, whip head, 3, prep 4. And you could just go back and forth all day long. So let's do that one more time, a little bit faster, and then we'll put them together one last time. 5, 6, 7, and basic. 1, 2, 3, prep, 4, 5, 6, 7, other side. 1, 2, 3, prep, 4, 5, 6, 7, prep, 8. Again, 1, 2, 3, prep, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, so I hope that helped. You're doing awesome.
All right, guys, are you having fun? Well, let's put this together with your partner, all right? So it's a lot of things that you can work to be able to lead your partner in this and for you ladies to be able to follow, all right? So one of the things what we can do is like the position of our arms is going to be different, all right? For example, one of the things I like to use the most is this connection to do partner work, right?
Yes.
So I have a little more control, so it's easy for me to transfer my energy and let my partner know that change directions, right?
One thing to remember follows, and this is just to reiterate from the past, anytime he's pushing, we're pushing. Anytime he's pulling, we're pulling. When you do that, and here's what I mean, if he's pushing, I'm pushing. If he's pulling, I'm pulling. And that creates the tension you need. All right, do not forget that. Don't get those spaghetti arms. Don't be getting those elbows crazy, okay?
But it's not a fight to see who's stronger.
No, because we all know, you know, right there. Wow.
Yes, so, so the idea here is this is something you guys can do is this, watch. You can put your hands like this.
Yep.
All right, you wanna lean to each other, all right? So that way we feel each other, all right? Now we use this, we call it connection. Connection is not just touch each other. Connection is able to use this tension to create because we lean into each other to communicate with my partner to let her know where direction we're going.
You know, one of the things our students always come to us and they love about our classes is we tell them all the time, like, this is not just us teaching you dance. We're teaching you how to communicate, all right? So I promise you all, if you can learn this skill that we're teaching you, you're gonna be able to take it into the real world with other types of communication, not just in the dance scene. So it's really important to learn to listen in this type of body language communication.
Yeah. Now, other thing I can do, I can make hooks and lean back. You know, ladies, you lean back. Not to see who's stronger again, no.
Because again, we all know.
Yes. So I can lean forward and lean back. So these are exercises that you guys can do to learn to feel the connection. Now, when I come to the lead part, I use this connection, so I push and she pushes me back. And now it's easier for me to communicate to her that we maybe go in this direction. Right?
And just make sure, follows, that your elbows, when he does push, they're not going to go back because you're not going to feel anything. So if he's pushing, I'm pushing a little, oh, and I know, okay, I go back.
But you're pushing forward just to feel which direction you have to go. Right? It doesn't mean that you have to take your partner this direction, right?
Right.
Now, I'm gonna do the opposite. If I pull, you ladies pull back, but I'm gonna make it to make you go forward, follow me, right? That's how we change the direction, right? Especially in the turns as well. So for
so
example,
important.
if I do this, right, and then Jackie start feeling here that I'm pushing, she will push back. Now when I get attention, now it's easy for me to communicate with her that I want her to go in this direction.
Right.
All right. So that's how I can have a good lead. Right.
Right.
Good lead is a communication of both. It's both directions. It's not just me telling her what to do. Right. So because if she don't want to be turned by me, she just won't let me. It doesn't matter what I do. It's not gonna work. Right?
You know, I have a really quick story. I remember, and actually this has happened many times, but I remember in particular, there was this one gentleman that would always ask me to dance in a social setting. And he would come up and we would dance, and like in the middle of the dance, he would say to me, "You're not following my lead. You're not following correctly." And he would stop and try to make me follow, right? And then that always reminded me too, like if you're leading, you have a really important job. You're leading, and you're also learning, and you're doing all of these things at once. If the follow is not responding, 9 times out of 10, gentlemen or leads, it's not the perfect lead, okay? You know, obviously follows have to do their part, but I'm just gonna be straight with you all. 80% of the time, if it's all kind of a crazy outcome, it is the lead's fault because he either hasn't learned it properly or he's not executing it properly. So that's not to say leads don't have a fault, but just to communicate you that the lead is so important.
So guys, if you feel like you have to tell your partner what she had to do for you to be able to accomplish the lead,
right?
That means that your lead is the first signals to know that your lead is weak.
Right.
Yes. I would say 80% is the guy's fault, but that 20% that the ladies had to do is gonna help us to go easier with the lead, right? But it's all our fault if this doesn't work, right?
And when he says 20%, what he means is this. Let's say he has a really good lead. Like he goes up to prep me for a turn to the right, right? Like he's done everything he can at this point. He's put his hand up, he's switched his position, we're feeling it. If I decide not to go, like, you know, or I go in the opposite direction, that's my 20%. Like he can only do so much, but what he does needs to be correct and a little bit assertive so that she is really clear on what she's supposed to do.
Yeah. So I would suggest to my lead is practice a lot you dancing with beginners, pure beginners, right?
Yes.
Because then you know she doesn't know math, so you're gonna do anything is possible without using muscle to make your partner understand where to go, so that's gonna improve your lead, right? They always dance with different people with different levels. Then you're gonna become better.
Right.
So, first thing I'm gonna do here is you can do different ways. I can even dance with this way. A lot of times when I see my partner is not quite trained in dance, I would keep the same connection I do when I dance. I just want to slide my hand when I do this. Yeah, we go here to do this because I know she needs more connection, right? And more support from myself, right? So that way she feels secure and she can turn as well, right? But if I feel like she's trained and she knows what she's doing, I will use these 2 fingers, right? So how you connect is your preference. I find that this is easier to do a rotation, right? Just be careful, ladies.
Yes, and really,
careful.
This is important. We don't want to squeeze here, right? Like you should be really loose. He's going to use 2 fingers there just so it can slide around. It's painful to him. So if you want to dance with that gentleman again, probably, or that lead, just make sure it's loose and not squeezed.
All right, so let's try with the basics the first. We'll go 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now here you decide, right? So let's say if I'm in close position or in this position, is to decide which connection gonna go. If I go from here, I want like the open position, kind of like a pistols thing, right? So we go here, we switch it to this, right? So we go from here to here, right?
Follows, you don't have to do anything but be there. He will do it all.
If I'm in a close position, I will slide my hand under the arm. Yeah, we go straight to the fingers. I will make a hook, hoping that she will understand my lead. It will hook, so that we can connect with her. Yes. So let's say we are in close position, how we did in the musical part. So we go 5, 6, 7. I will go up and 8 here. Make sure it's not close to you. It's close a little bit of her. So I'm always looking for a 90 degrees angle of the arm. If you ladies, you see that 90 degrees angle, he's trying to turn you.
Right, and it's very important, leads. It's really helpful if you prep up here on 8, because then she's got like a count to be like, oh, 8, I need to go on 1. It's really helpful.
Yeah. And if I keep the angle straight, that means I'm gonna turn myself.
Right.
So that's one way that you can recognize it here. This is for the ladies, this is for me.
Good, yeah.
The position of the hand is important. If my face, the inside of my hand is facing here, more likely I turn in here. Right. If I do kind of the waiter hand, I turn in myself. Right. Just in case I decide to do this, make sure guys straight up your her angle a little bit, so that way you have the space that you need to be able to turn. Right. So for example, here I'm gonna turn her. Right. One of the things, I do not let go this hand right away, especially if I don't know the level of my partner. Right? Because the first mistakes all ladies do, it's not a mistake, it's
natural to do
it's
that.
It's a natural response.
Yeah.
That once you do this, they think they're gonna turn going that way.
Right.
Even they are tapping with the right foot to start the basic step this way. Right?
Right.
So if I go here, right, if she don't have much strength, so I do this, the first instinct for her is to go this way. Right? So just in case that happens, I never let go this arm, because if she try, this will be a break and then she cannot do that.
That's right.
I keep this here. Then when I start the turn, I will lock the arm when I'm sure that she's turning to the right. So I will go here, right? And then it will be easier for me to actually the turn.
And don't forget all your fundamentals. You're spotting his chest area or wherever your eye level is, knees bent, heels together, ladies. You know, obviously you're not going to do this with your arms. You're not going to prep. He's got your arms, but you can still, if he's turning me this way, right, you can still do all of the other components.
Yeah. Guys, you dancing with an angel. So they have a halo over here. So make sure your hand is like 1 inch on top of the head, right? If there was a small circle around the head, right? One of the first mistakes the guys do is like, especially when they get more advanced, is they get used to the ladies are so well trained that they just raise the hand and expect the ladies turn themselves.
Right.
So of course I don't want you guys to over lead, right? But you lead in the turn, right? Because you are the one who had the plan in your head. You deciding what you're gonna do next. She not gonna do that. She's not gonna rule your mind. All right. So make sure lead it. All right. So let's do it again. So let's do it from close position. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
There's my cue.
8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8.
You know, I always get asked by follows too, what do you do with that other arm? A lot of beginners will ask, you know, this arm's turning, what do I do here? I highly encourage, especially at this level, not to do a whole lot of styling, okay? Because we're practicing on something that's really important called turns. All right, and you have to master these turns before we get to the next levels, all right? So I suggest whatever hand is free to keep it kind of close to you in this position, right, for balance. Not way out here, but like in toward your body. So this one's going and you kind of make this shape, all right? And it's really gonna help your balance and your stability, all right?
Yeah. All right, so that's will be the right turn. Let's do it again.
And 1, 2, 3, you got it. 5, 6, here we go. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
All right, so you see, if I want her to do a right turn, we start in the count number 1. All right, let's go to the next turn. Then we her left turn. All right,
so we start on 5.
Starting 5, so I'm gonna do half of the base step. 2, 3, 4. Same technique, same concept. I will prep.
Right.
I will raise my hand. I will make it facing her. All right. All right. I will create the 90 degrees angle.
On 4.
Right? I will not let get this hand yet, because the first mistake will be for her to go this way. Yeah, I don't want that. All right. And then I will move the hand in this direction, so when she turns to her left, it will do this.
5, we overturn. 6 heels together. 7
and 8.
And as I was demonstrating, I did that incorrectly, right? Do not forget, just because it was slow, but you have to spot. And honestly, that is the number one most difficult thing for beginners, is that spotting. So I highly encourage you to be really aware every time you practice slow, like, okay, I've got a spot, I've got a spot, I've got a spot, okay?
All right, so let's try again. Oh, here.
1, so I'm gonna spot now.
3, 4,
and 5, 6, whip it, 7, and 8. Yeah?
All right, so let's try now the whole thing combined. So when I do a basic step, we do a ladies right turn. You don't have to, you don't want to go right away with the other turn, because you have to finish the turn, make sure you grab the other arm, you're here. So I suggest first to try to do it with a base step in between, all right? And then you can try to complicate this where you want. Right? So we'll do basic step. 1. Let's go to the other side. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, slide, 5.
Right turn
6,
for follows
7, 8,
and spotting.
3, basic first, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
spotting.
6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and boom.
You made it. I mean, that's it.
So that's for your partners. Now, of course,
it's
now it's my turn, all right? This is one of the funny things I find in the dancing is the guys love to turn the ladies a lot, but they hate to turn themselves, all right? So I think a complete dancer, you should turn as much as you turn your partner.
And
right?
you should turn in both directions. We find a lot of instructors, they only teach turning in one direction.
Yeah, most it's always to the right, left, turn is not as much.
So here's a tip for my leads when you're learning, okay? From this point forward, if you are practicing at a social or something and you're turning her to the right, always go and turn her to the left at some point. It's not only gonna help your lead, but it's gonna help her practice her follow. That's really important.
Yeah, it's very common. The majority of the population in the world are right-handed.
Me.
So our right side is always stronger, so it's easier, all right?
Yes.
That's the reason why we avoid to do stuff with the left, all right? It's like try to throw stuff with the right. If you are right-handed, then you try with the left hand do something weird because it's weaker, all right? So in the dance, it's normal that happen.
Deal.
But if you want to really be a good complete dancer, train both sides
yes.
as equal, all right? So now, let's say we're on the other side, all right? Now I decide I'm gonna do this, but now I want to turn myself. Let's say I decide to do in one, I have to do it when I step forward with my left, all right? So what I'm gonna do is stretch the angle a little bit for her, a different than what I do when she was turning. You do this kind of like a waiter hand.
And you'll also notice, follows, that the arm, when he wants to turn, is a little bit closer to him. That's why our arm is stretching. So if it's a little bit closer to him, 9 times out of 10, he is going to turn. He's not going to do you.
Now, the type of turn that you're going to do is going to be based on the height of yourself and your partner.
Yes.
For example, if you are taller than your partner, this might be a little different. So we want to give you a variation of this so that way you can make it easier. But let's say we are in the same height. One is smaller the hair, it will be easier to turn under the arm. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna spar it to her, even I'm gonna slide the hand, right? And then I'm gonna turn, I'm gonna spar it to her,
Hey.
I do my head the same way the ladies do, and then I will facing her when I tap in 4. So the same thing that we made you to do the drills to when you by yourself, apply your head. Right? So let's say whatever connection you are, we do the basic step. I'm gonna use my left hand to turn. 5, 6, 7, waiter hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you come back. 7 and 8.
So here's a little tip for my leads from a follow. Let's say you're super nervous and like you just hate eye contact in general, and then there's like this gorgeous lady you have to practice with at class or whatever, or in a social. One little tip that I do, sometimes even as a follow, is when I'm spotting, all right, especially if you're about the same height, super awkward, you can just look right over their shoulder. You don't necessarily have to spot them. I like being a little shorter because then I can just spot their chest. I don't have to look in their eyes, right? But you can look kind of right over their shoulder. Now, if you're taller, it's super easy. You can just kind of look over and spot the wall over there, right, when you're turning. But that's just kind of a little tip because I know a lot of people starting out are super shy or they're intimidated and they don't want to like look in somebody's eyes to spot. And that's okay. You're not alone. We're the same way. It's like Mr. Shy right here, right? But awesome performer, awesome instructor. So keep that in mind.
Yeah. So let's try again.
Here we go.
With the basic. 1, 2, 3. Left turn for the leads. 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, and 4.
He's looking at my eyes.
6, 7, and 8. All right. Now I want to turn to my right, so that had to be in the count number 5.
5.
Right? So I'm going to do half of my basic step first. 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice how I go from here to here, right? So that way she understands, oh, she's kind of facing, show me this part of my hand, so he's going to turn. At the same time, her hand is not here, it's here.
It's more toward him.
Right? And I'm going to turn under the arm if I wanted to, right? So we do the same thing with the, I can spot it to her, or I can spot it when I'm going, right? Right? Then I will do the turn, and then we come back here.
Make sure, especially if he's turning himself, it's really important that you also not pull over his balance. We don't want a whole lot of styling. We don't want you pulling straight back, trying to do something crazy. Literally just do your basic, all right? Give him the opportunity to also practice when he wants to, his turns, and have a really good support as well.
Yeah, and make sure practice allow you turns on your arm.
Oh, yes.
Both sides, all right? So it doesn't matter your little follow practices. So that when you dance with somebody else, it gets easier. If you practice everything at the same time, they can be a little bit difficult.
Exactly.
Right? And ladies, please be patient with the guy. The guy's got to figure out how to dance himself and lead you. So it's 2 jabs, so it tends to be a little difficult for the guy, so they need time. Just give it a space, all right? Don't try to lead him to lead you. It just doesn't work.
And
right?
one extra tip for the leads, instead of saying sorry, like I do all the time when you miss something, all right? Instead of being like, sorry, I missed that to the follow, say to them, thank you so much for being patient with me.
Yeah. And let's try it again, right? And then you try over and over again until you get it.
That's
right?
it.
That's it. Right. We'll do it again.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 1.
All right, so that's the right turn.
Yes.
All right. Now, let's say you have problems with the highs to go under, especially if she's like a little shorter. All right. So go here will be more difficult. One of the things that you can do or we do is like I turn, you can switch the hand. All right. Then I can switch it back here again. Notice they're doing the same step with the turn. And then I come back here. Right? Same consequence to the other side. Right? So here I will switch my left to grab the thing here. So I pass the hand to hand. Then I pass the hand behind me. Right? Then I face in here. And then I tap. Right? So that's one of the things that you can start doing it. So that way if you had trouble to go under the arm. All right. So let's try it to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7. Now right turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, so just a practical variation, guys, because I know in this dance is always different heights.
Yes.
So always use what you can. All right. Now, if you find yourself that you had big trouble to accomplish to do your turns when you dance with your partner, one of the things I always suggest my students to do first, all right, even you keep trying, it doesn't work, let go your partner. Ladies, do not stop yourself. When you keep moving, all right, and then you come back so that way you still dancing together. I go to the other side, I let go, I turn myself, all right. And then I will connect with her. Right? So that's a great way to practice your turn. You don't quite push too much with the distraction with the connection.
And your spacing. You know, sometimes when you're dancing, you're like running into each other. So this is a really good opportunity to practice his spacing. I'm in my line, and when he's doing his turn, if he finishes in the same amount of space apart from me, good. He's doing his turn correctly. If he's all the way up on my side, he's turning at an angle, so he needs to practice more. All right. So yeah, awesome. We're done,
guys. So practice your turn. I know this is your first turn in our course, but it's a purpose, right? So that way you have a really good fundamental before you start doing turns, because that's one of the things can be a little difficult for beginners.
Absolutely. You guys got this. Keep dancing, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.